Welcome to the Accountancy Learning AAT sample paper walkthroughs. I'm Sarah, and in this video I'll take you through the Introduction to Bookkeeping, Sample Paper 2, Task 4. This task is about processing receipts from customers. Jackson Co has received 2 cheques totalling £12,801.62 from JTP Products, as detailed in the remittance advice. The customer has not been offered a prompt payment discount. So here we can see the 2 remittance advices. Company policy is to match each transaction with a remittance advice number or to query any underpayment or overpayment. Part A asks us to allocate the amounts received by dragging the appropriate action to the customer report below. We can use each action more than once if needed. So we've got a balance brought forward, we've got some invoices, credit notes that we all need to allocate. So let's have a look then. We've got a balance brought forward here of 884.23. And we can see that this appears on the second remittance advice 1067. So we can allocate that from 1067. So we can allocate that in full. So obviously you can drag these up in the exam, but we'll be allocating that one in full. Now we've got invoice 3922. So we haven't got an exact amount there, 9,966.22. But if you look closely, you've got invoice 3922, and then there's a credit note for a correction that's been made. So if you then take the credit note amount off of that invoice amount, you then get 9,613.78. So that's the total when you offset those two against each other, which you can see then is on the remittance advice 1010. So for both of those we can allocate in full on 1010. Our next one then, invoice 3987, we've got 355.22 as our amount. And if we look, we've got the invoice on the remittance 3987, but we've actually got 375.22, and in our ledger it's 355.22. So they've paid an additional £20. So based on the policy, we need to query the overpayment. Invoice 4009, we've got 896.21 in our ledger. So we've got 896.21 in our ledger, but they've only paid 892.61. So we're going to have to query the underpayment. And then finally invoice 4126. We've got 4126 here. And that matches completely, so we can allocate on the remittance 1067. The final part then, Portway Products has received payments from 2 customers that have incorrectly calculated the prompt payment discount, resulting in an underpayment. So the question is going to ask us to work out what should have been paid and then what amount is outstanding. So when we are working out our discount, so we can see here we've got 2.5% for the first one and 2% for the second one. We are going to be applying that to the invoice amount. So when you're answering this question, do be careful that you pick the right amount to apply the discount to. So for the top one, we've got 9,876. They've got a 2.5% prompt payment discount. So it will be 9,876, and we're going to multiply that by 97.5% because they're only going to pay, or they should have only paid, 97.5% of their total invoice. So that's £9,629.10p. Then we need to find the difference between what they have paid and what they should have paid. And they've underpaid by £49.38. Now we can repeat the process for the next one. So the actual invoice amount is 2,190, and this time it's the 2% discount, so don't go and just do the 2.5%, be careful, read the question. So this time we'll multiply it by 98% because that's the amount of the invoice that they should be paying, to give us £2,146.20. And then again we need to find the difference between what they should have paid and what they have paid, and in this case they have underpaid by £65.70. That completes task 4.